Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Sadguru Sri Ramananda Parabrahma Namaha. Om Sadguru Sri Shivananda Parabrahma Namaha. Om Sadguru Sri Krishna Paramatma Namaha. Om Sadguru Sri Nityananda Parabrahma Namaha. Om Sadguru Sri Vyasa Bhattarkaya Namaha. Guru Swarupalahu, ప్రేక్షక మహాశైలకు మరియు నా సిద్ధ విద్యార్థి లోకానికి నా యొక్క హృదయపూర్వక ఆత్మ నమస్కారాలు. టుడే, that is on 24th May 2024, I am talking in the house of Ushasri Manohar in Sacramento of California state. I am being asked by one of the participants, Dr. Uma. I am very glad to meet her. She is my Andhra Medical College mate. She is asking questions after knowing about me, who is nearby residing. She came to this place and she is asking. She is also very much interested. Of course, doctors are spiritually very less interested, but our college mate, Dr. Uma, you please come, just show your face and ask question. There are aspirants from New Delhi, Madhya Pradesh and neighboring places also have come. Now please come, Dr. Uma. Gone to the field. All right.
Namaskaram, Guruji. We are all interested in Bhagavad-Gita, and what do you think is the best message? What Krishna wants us to learn from Bhagavad-Gita? I know he gave Bhagavad-Gita to get rid of our sufferings, but practically, essentially, how we have to design our lives with his message. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Uma. You know, Bhagavad-Gita is the song divine. The song divine. Every book will be named after the author, but Bhagavad-Gita is never named after author. You know, Bhagavad-Gita, the song divine, that's all. What is that song? What is that song? Prarabdham bhunjamanopi Gita-abhyasa rata sada samukta sukhi loke karmana nopalipyate. Whoever is suffering from his karma phala, prarabdha, Gita-abhyasa rata sada, who is practicing Gita. Here, Gita means not by slokas. Gita means swaram. Swaram means the divine sound that is coming from above and creating this world, and again it is trying to go upwards. That is called Gita. Gita means swaram. Sware Vedasa Shastrani, Sware Gandharo Muttam, Sware cha Sarvam Trilokyam, Swaro Matra Swarupakaha. In Swarajnana Pradipika, The Lord Ishvara himself is Saromatra Swarupakaha. He will be perceived by means of the Swaram only. That Swaram is nothing but Om or Pranamam. This Swaram clearly indicates that there must be some process. One should take place. One should do an effort to reach Lord Ishvara. That process of getting this Om is otherwise named as Pranavam or Pranayama. Those who are practicing pranayama only can be called as is Gita Abhyasaka. Gita Abhyasaka means not by uttering or repeating these stanzas of Bhagavad-Gita. Prarabdham bhunjamanopi. Even though he is affected with the prarabdha karmaphala, one who practices this Gita Abhyasa, that means one who practices this Gita Swaram, Tamukta, he alone is liberated. Sasaki loke, he is the only man who is getting happiness. Karmana nopalipite, whatever karma or action he does, he will never be affected. That is there in Gita Mahatmyam, There is another stanza in Gita Mahatmyam. Gita Jaina Silasya, Pranayama Parasacha, Naivasanti Papani, Porojanma Kutanyapi. Gita Jaina Silasya. Here, Lord Sri Krishna mentions Gita Jaina Silasya, one who repeats Gita, one who studies Gita. Pranayama Parasacha. There is another word. Who practices pranayama. One who practices pranayama and one who reads the Bhagavad Gita, Naiva Santihi Papani. He will never be affected with the sins of the previous births. Purvajanna Kutanyapi. Whatever he did in the previous births, he will never be affected, provided he should practice both pranayama and read Bhagavad Gita. That is also told in Gita Mahatmyam. Lord Sri Krishna is otherwise called as Yogishvara, Yogishvara Krishna, Yatra Yogishvara Krishna, Yatra Pato Dhanata. Like that, the author told about this Bhagavad Gita is Yogishvara. He is master of yoga. Yogishvara means he is a master of yoga. Yoga means here, we should not misunderstand this word about yoga. Nowadays, yoga means we are practicing so many bending, postural and stretching exercises and doing pranayama with this external nostrils, calling it as yoga. But in scriptures and the teachings learned through gurus and by my experience, here the practice of pranayama is not through the external nostrils. There is another method that is deepest scientific technique told in Bhagavad Gita. That is real process of doing pranayama. That is Gita Abhyasam. In 5th chapter, there is one stanza that is Starshan Krutva Bahirbahyan Chachushcheva Antare Bhruvo Pranapano Samo Krutva Nasa Abhyantara Charino. The great science has put in this stanza. Sparshan Krutva. There are Sparshan means Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. These are the fields of the senses. Fields of the senses. Sparshan Krutva Bahirbahyan Chachushcheva Antare Bhruvo. By keeping your gaze or eyes upwards, Chachushcheva Antare Bhruvo. Pranapano Samo Krutva. Pranapano Samo Krutva means there are two forces which are acting on our respirations. There is one force acting from downwards upward, that is called prana, which is responsible for inspiration. There is another force that is called apana, responsible for getting expiration. Prana, pano, samo, krutva. What he means is combining these two, balancing these two. Nasabhyantara charino. Nasabhyantara. Here, the entire world is totally misguided and misunderstood. about this phrase, Nasa Abhyantara Charino. Nasa means nose. Abhi means opposite. Antara means inside. Opposite to the nose inside, what is the place? You're a doctor, you can as pretty well understand about this anatomical structure. What is that? Nasopharynx. You know, the throat has been divided into three parts. The uppermost portion opposite to the nose is called nasopharynx. That is what Lord Sri Krishna means is nasabhyantara charino. So by practicing at the level of nasopharynx, only you can balance these two forces, that is prana and apana. Prana and apana. These, how to balance? These are two opposite forces. One which is withdrawing upwards, another is pulling downwards. How to balance them? Unless you make one force into another, you cannot balance them. Here, the force which is responsible for this expiration, that is called apana. Scientifically, we can say that is the heaviest portion of the body. In our body, the force responsible for our heaviness, the center of gravity, that is at the navel or the umbilicus. There, the entire earth and jalatatvas, they are being concentrated at the level of umbilicus, which is responsible for this expiration. That is called apana. Apana. So, combining these two forces, apana and prana, means prana always try to take it upwards, our respirations. So you need not catch it, because it is always, its tendency is only to go upwards, whereas apana is always pull it down. You take this apana and combine in the prana is called prana apana samo krutva. How to balance them? That is the thing. Here, you're a doctor, you can as well understand if I explain in detail. In detail, in ordinary respirations, we are taking external air and keeping it in the lungs, and after some time, it is pushed downwards. This is called inspiration and this is called expiration. But in Sanskrit, there is very good meaningful words are there. Utswasam and Niswasam. Ut means upwards. Ut means upwards. Niswasam means downwards. That force which is taking upwards is called Utswasam. But unfortunately, we are observing only the air which is coming from outside to inwards and getting into the lungs in a downward way. Oppositely, we are misunderstanding. So there is a force acting on inspiration, which is going through the spinal cord. Spinal cord to the center of the eyebrows. It's a seat of origin. With that force of going upwards, simultaneously you are drawing external air. You are observing this only. But another thing is, physiologically, the prana shakti is going upward through your spinal cord, through upward reverse movement of the cerebrospinal fluid in the central canal of the spinal cord. You know, is it not? But in creation, in every living individual, every living being, the expiration is more predominant than inspiration. Is it not? This is passive and this is active. Active means you are feeling difficulty to take it upwards. Whereas in expiration, you are passing it very easily. You are pushing the air very easily. That means there is some force which is pushing downwards more than the going upwards. Is it not? Some people say, whatever the little amount of air you are taking, the same amount of air is coming downwards. What is the difference? What is the difference? Everybody thinks like that. But there is a great science behind it. Suppose you are a doctor, if you withdraw water from a syringe, through a syringe, you are withdrawing water. Withdrawing water slowly. But when you are plunging out, you are plunging it very forcibly. It's not same amount of water is withdrawn and same amount of water is being pushed out. But there is a difference in withdrawing and pushing out. While pushing out, you are losing more energy. While taking in, you are taking with less energy. Is it not? Like that, in our respirations, your expiration is always more predominant, through which you are losing some divine energy more than the inspiration. You are pushing up to 30 centimeters and taking from 20 centimeters only. If you observe this, you are exposing or expiring up to 30 centimeters from the external LNSA. But taking from 20 centimeters only. You can measure the expiration, but you cannot measure the inspiration because you are taking inside. You cannot measure it. But with common sense, you can understand that you are expiring more than the inspiration. That you have to admit. Is it not? So like that, you are expiring more, 10 centimeters more during expiration. More during expiration. Average per minute, you are taking respirations 15 times per minute. That means 15 into 10 centimeters up to 1.5 meters, you are losing the divine loss, divine energy within 1 minute. Not. In an hour, 900 times of respirations into 10 centimeters, it amounts to 90 meters. And in 24 hours, you are taking respirations up to 21,600 times per day. And into 10 centimeters, you are losing. That amounts to 2 kilometers, 160 meters of energy you are losing per day in a so-called normal, healthy individual. Leave alone the sleep. During sleep also, you are losing more, much more, even double also. During wakeful state, you are expiring up to 30 centimeters. But during sleep, you are losing up to 60 centimeters. That is anatomically assessed by the great yeshis. You are expiring up to 30 centimeters, that is 12 inches. But during sleep, you are losing up to 60 centimeters, that is 24 inches. So, leave on the calculations. You have to admit that there is continuous divine loss of energy in every respiratory cycle, expiration. In every expiration, you are losing much energy. This is happening since birth onwards. This is happening since birth onwards. That's why, despite taking this normal food regularly, you are losing divine energy, knowledge, happiness, and light since birth onwards. Everything is being hampered, that is being lost since birth onwards. Is it not? Are you active when compared to childhood? You are not so much active. And what about the energy? Lost. And knowledge also is gone. And happiness is also gone. What about the divine light, that is the facial aura, that is also being lost since birth onwards. But you have never stopped taking food. You are taking food to get the energy. But that energy, that physical energy derived out of this food is never compensating the divine loss. Is it not? When the food is compensating the divine loss, there is no question of loss of this energy since birth onwards. It clearly indicates the food which you are taking is only giving physical energy, that is nourishing your mind. But mind has got another part of it, that is spiritual part. That is being regularly lost through these expressions. Is it not? So in this way, because you are in front of me as a doctor, I have to explain mostly in medical terms only. So you are expiring more and inspiring less. Like that, the expiring is more predominant than inspiration gradually. Ultimately, there will be only expiration, no inspiration. Last expiration is called, please tell me. Huh? Not at that. You are terming specifically that expired. Is there any explanation about this word expired in our medical field? Simply we'll conclude that he is expired, he lost his life by auscultating, the heart and lungs are stopped. That's why you call it as expired. But there is a great process happening before this, behind this expired. During birth, you have started with the expiration. We call it as, what is the phase of respiratory cycle starts first? Is it by inspiration or expiration? Huh?
Expiration.
Expiration. Have you read the
Just now you told me.
Right, very nice. So, the first expression is called birth, and the last expression is called death or expire. So, between the first expression and the last expression, our life is happening. Is it not? So, what is the life you are leading? When you are losing more, means you are not happy. Your knowledge is hampered and you are not active. What Lord Sri Krishna told, if you balance these two forces, means you take your apana or the downward force and take it upwards and merge in the prana, then only you will be itendri mano buddhir muri moksha parayanaha vikatecha bhayakroda yah sada mukta yeva saha, in 28th stanza of 5th chapter. So if you go on practicing and balancing these two forces, you will get liberated. That is Lord Sri Krishna told. In 4th chapter, again he specifically mentioned in a scientific way. Apane juhati pranam prane panam tadhapane prana apana gatirudva pranayama parayanaha. In 4th chapter. Apane juhati pranam prane panam tadhapare. In every individual, these two forces acting in opposite way. This is always trying to push it down. This is always trying to take it upwards. But as you are continuously losing this energy, this apana shakti, the downward source gets upper hand than the inspiratory phase. Is it not? So ultimately you are ending with the expiration or expire. So in order to be happy, you have to withdraw. You have to withdraw the divine energy which is being lost in every respiratory cycle. How to withdraw? You have to take it upwards. You have to push the inspiratory phase much more towards its origin. The life force or vital energy or prana shakti that is arising from the center of the eyebrows means hypothalamus. Hypothalamus. From that force is coming down through spinal cord, center of the spinal cord, and it is being spread out through so many nerves. The cranial nerves, 12 pairs of cranial nerves and 31 pairs of spinal nerves also, And along with that, there is sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems which are headed by the hypothalamus, autonomous nervous system. So the force which is coming downwards, and when it is being spread out, your mental ability and the judgment capacity, the happiness, everything is being diminished. It is diminished. In order to regain them, you have to take it upwards. If you want to take it upwards, there is an obstruction in the entire system. Obstruction not in the throat. There is an obstruction accumulated. What is that obstruction? That is nothing but phlegm. Phlegm. Medically, we cannot exactly define this, but according to spiritual masters, our Gurudev used to term this as kapham or phlegm. Our Gurudev used to tell kapham. Kapham is responsible for not allowing you to take it upwards further. What Lord Sri Krishna means is you take it upwards further by remove that obstruction. If you remove that obstruction only, the prana and apana can be balanced. That phlegm or kapham which is accumulating in the entire system, all nerves, all tissues, and also in the brain also. So brain, it is full of neurons, blood cells, along with the nerve fibers. So along with the nerves and nerve fibers, around that there is some space, cerebrospinal space, subarachnoid space. In that, the cerebrospinal fluid is being circulated. Is it not? That cerebrospinal fluid, which is like looking like a pure water, but it contains so many nutrients and impurities also. But its tendency is always to go up, downwards only. Cerebrospinal fluid is always flowing downwards only. With that only you are expiring more. But there is no chance of getting and reversing the flow from downwards to upwards. Nobody is able to do that. You should know, if you know this scientifically, you can do that. That is Lord Sri Krishna told. Prana apano samo krutva nasabhyantara charina. There is Upanishad, there is one Upanishad in Yoga Sikha Upanishad, the same scientific method is explained. Hamsa hamseti mantroyum sarve jivischa jepyate guruvakya sushumnayam viparito bhave japaha. Every living being is doing japam in the form of hamsa, hamsa. Ham means sakarena bahiriyati. That means he is expiring more. Sakarena vishetpunaha. He is again trying to go inside. So expiring more and inspiring less. Guru Vakya Sushumnayam, by getting initiated from a learned Guru, Sushumnayam through spinal cord, central column of the spinal cord, Viparito Bhave Japaha. Viparita means reverse. In Sanskrit, the exact meaning of this Viparita means reverse. So Viparito Bhave Japaha. That means when you are expiring more, you reverse it and you concentrate on the upward inspiration. So increase the inspirator phase and lessen the expirator phase. Then only the flow of cerebrospinal fluid will be projected upwards. So projecting or upward indrawing of the cerebrospinal fluid is called pranayama. Nobody is concentrating on that. But we are trying to simply doing this external manipulation of the external air. External air. External air. Everybody, even last night also, there is a good argument with our friend. We should know the difference between the prana and this divine prana shakti and the external oxygen. External oxygen. External oxygen, everybody says that we are living with this. Is it not? We are living with this. But there is another physiological phenomenon happening with this oxygen. With this oxygen. You know, this oxygen has got some 8 electrons and protons, which is inorganic gas. It doesn't have the knowledge or happiness. It is not divine. That is a physical gas. Whereas our prana shakti, our vital energy, is divine. This divine prana shakti has got 4 qualities: knowledge, happiness, power, and divine light. Whereas this external oxygen doesn't have those qualities. But this is linked with this prana inside. That is the thing. This prana is totally connected with this oxygen. Is it not? We are not minding about the prana shakti inside. We are minding about the oxygen only. So without oxygen, we cannot live, everybody says. Yes. I question everybody. Not only any doctor or any scientist, with a common sense, every layman can understand by this example. Say, for example, I have kept one dead body here on left side, and there is one living body who is sleeping and taking the respirations involuntarily, whereas this dead body is not taking. Why this dead body is not taking means who will say? What do you say?
We don't have life
life force. So that life force has gone out of this body. That's why it became corpse. Whereas some amount of this life force is there in the body, even it is sleeping. But as per version, general version, we are saying that we are living with this oxygen. That is always available. Even prior to our birth, and during our birth, during our life, even after our expiry also, that is being there. Constantly, that is there. 20.16% of oxygen is there in the atmosphere. Even though it is available, why this dead body is not able to take? You are mentioning that life force is gone outside. So that life force or prana shakti is quite distinct and different from the sexual oxygen. Is it not? Is it not? So we are losing the divine prana shakti through our respiratory system, with which only we are facing death. That is responsible for a vacation of our prana shakti from this body. Whereas this is constantly, this is available always. What is the necessity of the external oxygen? This external oxygen is only to maintain the barometric atmospheric pressure. See, you as a doctor, you can understand there is a negative pressure in the lungs that is situated in the pleural cavity, visceral and parietal pleural membranes. In that, there is some dead space. That dead space is responsible for taking this external air inside. Is it not? During that expiration, during that taking inspiration, something is happening. What is happening? The negative pressure in the lungs is being neutralized by taking external air and also peripheral venous return. Is it not? Peripheral venous return. Did you do any specialization?
Medicine.
MD medicine. So you are MD, you can as well understand this is your subject actually to say. So during this inspiration, two things are happening. One is by taking external air inside, and the other is peripheral venous return. Peripheral venous return. If you take freely this external air, the peripheral venous return will be hampered. If you trap this external air inside into the lungs, then the peripheral venous return will be increased. Do you admit or not? Definitely. So, the exact physiology happening during pranayama is this only. You are trying to increase the negative pressure in the lungs. When you are increasing the negative pressure, simultaneously you are not allowing this external air to enter into the lungs. Thereby there will be friction. What Lord Sri Krishna says, you take your prana shakti or inspiration at the level of the narrow pharynx, not at the LNSA. Every living being is taking through this only. But the point of taking this inspiratory force upwards is at the nasopharynx. If you start doing from the nasopharynx, there will be trapping of the external air to enter into the lungs. When there is a trapping, means there is a friction. When there is a friction, there is energy, there is sound. That the sound with the friction you are getting while doing this pranayama. When you are taking, because you are not initiated, it is difficult to understand. But I am explaining the theory behind this pranayama. See, when you are doing this, the inspiratory phase is prolonged by increasing the negative pressure in the lungs. That is being neutralized mostly by the peripheral venous return. Because you are not allowing this to get into this lungs freely. Thereby you are getting friction and sound. Thereby you are getting energy. See, without a friction, there is no energy. See, energy means there must be some friction. Even an engine also, when you have poured some oil, to get energy from that oil, the piston should work up and down. there is the piston in the engine, there is a friction. When there is a friction, that oil is being converted to energy. So without a friction, there is no energy. Even if you put food into your stomach, to convert it into energy, there must be some friction process should take place in our body. That the friction process is pranayama. Normally, you are taking this inspiration to some extent. Your digestion process will be according to the level of the upward inspiration. But if you take more upwards, the absorption will be more, digestion will be more, the conversion of food into energy will be more. And then not only that, when you get maximum blood into the right side of the heart and then into the lungs, after that, when you are pushing down with force, there will be more cardiac output, more peripheral venous return, more cardiac output. Thereby, you are increasing the circulatory process. The blood circulation will be profuse both during inspiration and expiration also, because you are magnifying the negative pressure. When there is profuse blood circulation to each and every nook and corner of the body, every capillary will be opened thoroughly. You are getting blood supply to each and every nook and corner of the body. All the capillaries will be opened. Thereby, there won't be any blockage. There won't be any blockage anywhere. In philosophy, according to Rishis and our Guru and my experience, I am telling you, the life force which is coming from the this what you call hypothalamus, coming downwards and being spread out, it is not totally being withdrawn and getting here. Starting from here only, it is being spread out, but in return, it is not going upwards to that extent. Our Gurudev used to say, if you throw a ball from terrace, from above, and onto the ground, that will jump to some extent, again falls down. Like that, this goes on going downwards. Ultimately, it becomes standstill on the ground. Like that, our force, prana shakti, started from here at the time of birth. During birth, there won't be any respirations, you can pretty well understand. So, our ball started from here, going downwards and going upwards to some extent. Like that, the downward force is much predominant than upwards. That means the prana shakti which is coming from this hypothalamus is not totally going upwards. There must be some stagnation in the lower part of the body. Is it not? That's why your inspiration is less than the expiration. Is it not? So like that, your prana shakti is not totally being returned into this spot. To get the same amount of the force which has come down to the seat of its origin is done only by means of pranayama. Ayama means extension of your inspirator phase is called ayama. The extension of life force is called pranayama. And reuniting your own life force at the seat of origin is called yogam. Yogam is different from yoga. Yoga is basically for fitness of the physical body. But to get the life force go upward thoroughly to the hypothalamus, that is yogam. That is yogam. So unless you are cleaned in the every now, that is called Nadi Suddhi. Nadi Suddhi. Lord Sri Krishna told about this only. Unless you get clean in your nose, your brain can never be balanced. Balance of mind means balancing of your life force. That is told in Yoga Vasishtam. In Yoga Vasishtam, Vasishtha Maharshi told to Rama, ya pranapana spandaha, chitta spanda sayebihi, pranaspanda kshayetno, kattavyo mokshayatavya dhema hutsochakayehi. That is, the movement of your life force, which is going more downwards, is responsible for your movement of your mind, oscillation of mind, or flickering of mind. So our mind is being flickered due to the movement of the respirations. If you want to control the mind, you have to control the respirations. That is told in Yoga Vasishtam. That is told in Bhagavad-Gita. Everything is telling the same. Without cleaning the body, your mind.
To do Nadi Suddhi then.
That is the Nadi Suddhi means you increase your negative pressure in the lungs. You go on doing like that, pushing it downwards more, increase your cardiac output. When you are doing upwards more and downwards more, there will be thorough blood circulation, When you are getting thorough blood circulation, every nadi will be getting cleaned up. That is nadi suddhi. But there is a superficial method by doing this external nostrils, and this is superficial method. But there is a deep scientific method, special technique told by Lord Sri Krishna is inner pranayama. That is called Antarmukha Pranayama. Or Buddhi Yogam. Buddhi Yogam. See, if you want to get enlightened in the spirituality, to get enlightened, Lord Sri Krishna told 2 steps. In the 2nd chapter, he told Sankhyam. Everything is Atma. There is nothing apart from Atma. That is everlasting. I have till now told about this Sankhya. But now I am telling there is a special technique to sustain this balance of mind. How to sustain the balance of mind? He is telling, Esha te abhita sanke buddhiri yoge tyamasunu buddhayukto yayapatha karmapantam prahasasi. Till now I had told about this Sankhya Yoga or Advaitam. Advaita Jnana till now. After that I am telling Buddhi Yogam, I am telling Buddhi Yogam. This Buddhi Yogam will get you away from this ordinary external karma. For every action, there is always equal and opposite reaction. That is karma phala. To get the bad effects of the karma, external action, and also to sustain the Advaita knowledge, there is a special technique that is called Buddhi Yogam. That Buddhi Yogam is told in 5th chapter. Pranapano somo krutva nasabhyantara charina. He told in the entire 18 chapters about this yogam only. That's why at the end of the 18 chapter, Brahma Vidya, Yoga Shastre, Sri Krishna Samvade, like that he is mentioning. So the essence of entire Bhagavad Gita is nothing but yogam only. But unfortunately, yogam means whatever you say, it is called yoga. Samattam yoga uchyate. Like that they are telling. It's not. So in every stanza, he is pointing about this yogam only. This yogam only. If you do this yogam only, your life will be balanced. Sukha dukke same krutva labha labhao jaya jayo tato yuddhai jisva naivam papam avapsase. In 2nd chapter. Everybody.
That is all that kind of understanding. We will get it through Jnana Yoga.
See, Jnana Yoga, you cannot attain Jnana without doing pranayama. In 3rd chapter, is Arjuna is asking, Ya Jaisit che karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tam tat kim karmane ghore maham niyojasis kesava. Ya misrena vakrine buddhi moha sevame tadekam vadanisya yana sreyoham apniyam. He is asking in 2 stanzas, he is questioning Lord Sri Krishna. If you say that Buddhi Yogam or Jnanam is far better than this karma or action, why do you are educating to go into action or karma? Then he is replying, Lokesmin vividhanishta pura prokta mayanaga jnana yogena sankyanam karma yogena yoginam. You might have read it. So, Lokesmin vividhanishta pura prokta mayanaga. I have been teaching this since creation onwards. Since long time I am telling. What is that? Karma yogena yoginam, jnana yogena sankyanam. There are two methods. For the people who are doing karma yoga, I am telling yogam. For the people who are trying to get to jnana yogam, I am telling sankhyam. That is what he was telling. But immediately after this slokam, there is another interference. Nakarmana manarambhan naishkarmyam purushoshnute nacha sanyasnadeva siddhim samadhigachyate. You verify. Nakarmana manarambhan naishkarmyam purushoshnute. That means without performing some particular action, you cannot get this naishkarma siddhi. You cannot get to the naishkarma siddhi. So you have to perform a particular action. What is that particular action? Yogam. Tatte karma pravakshami yajnatva mokshasya asubhat. In fourth chapter. Kim karma kimakarmayati kavapyatra mohita tatte karma pravakshami yajnatva mokshasya asubhat. Some people, what is karma, what is not karma, akarma, they are telling. But I am specifically telling, tatte karma pravakshami. I am specifically telling that about a particular karma, that is buddhi yogam. If you perform this buddhi yogam, then only you will go to jnana yogam. Here, most of the people, they are thinking that karma yogam means just by performing outward action is called karma yogam. This outward action is only karma. There is another term that is called karma yogam. Karma yogam means not outward action. That is also action, but that is inward action. What is that inward action? That is pranayama. Because you are going out more, that is outward action. If you take it upwards, inward, that is called karma yogam. Inward inspiratory phase is called karma yogam. And outward expiratory is called karma. So what Lord Krishna is always try to become Antarmukha. You go inward. Buddhi yogam upasatya machitta satatam bhava. What I told this pranayama, you practice it and you keep your mind in me. Chetasa sarvakarmani maisanya samattaraha buddhi yogam upasatya machitta satatam bhava. Whatever action you perform, you do with buddhi yogam. Buddhi yoga means that will withdraw you from outside to inside. You do yogam. Buddhi yogam, buddhi yogam, buddhi yogam, yogam, buddhi yuktaha. All these terms are denoting about this pranayama only. Inward action. That inward action is, when you perform that, your outward action will be balanced. That is Lord Sri Krishna telling. Sukha dukkhe same krutva labha labhav jaya jayo. All these things are balanced. When tato yuddha naivam papam avapyase, if you got balanced of these things, how to balance? Unless you balance these two forces and take the life force upwards, then only your mind gets balanced. Without performing internal pranayama, all these people simply telling, samatvam yoga uchyate. What is that samatvam? Sanyogo yoga uchyate. What is sanyogam? See, in Yoga Upanishad, there is a specific definition about this yogam. In Yoga Upanishad, yat prana panayoraikam swarajo retasastadha surya chandramasor yogo jivatma paramatmano evam hi dvandajala sa sanyogo yoga uchyate. In Yoga Upanishad, it was told like this. There are 4 pairs in our body. Prana, apana. Combination of prana and apana is called yogam. Yat prana panayoraikam. Swarajo retasastada. There are 2 male and female components. What is that? Retas and raja. Raja means the red part of the blood. Retas means suklam. So combination of suklam and retas is called also again called yogam. Surya Chandramasa yogo. Surya means right side, Pingala nadi. Chandramasa means Ida nadi. These nadis are not nadis. They are balancing of the sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. So by doing pranayama only, the sympathetic and parasympathetic systems will be balanced. And Jivatma Paramatma, when you are coming downwards more, you will become Jiva or individual soul. When you go upwards, you will become Isvara. So Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam means you have to combine your life force which is coming downward, take it upwards to its origin. That is also Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam. So the yoga means combination of prana, apana, sukla, sointa, ida, pingala, and Jivatma Paramatma. That is yogam. That is clearly indicated that you have to perform a particular action. You have to do sadhana. Without doing all this sadhana, all these people are simply mentioned sanyoga, yoga. What is this? Is it not? So you have to learn it from a guru. He is telling about a particular technique, and that also you should learn it from a guru. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanta te jnanam jnana tadarshanaha. I am telling you this yogam, like that the other people also should approach a guru who is well versed with the theory and the practical also. He will tell about this technique of this pranayama. Without doing this, all these people are telling about this Bhagavad-Gita. What Bhagavad-Gita? That's why the name itself is the song of divine means. During pranayama, you are getting the spiritual sound that is called Om. Here also, unfortunately, all these people are uttering Om like this Om. When you are uttering, you are expiring more, is it not? When you are uttering, you are expiring more. When you are expiring more, you are losing much energy. So losing energy outside can never be called as Om.
So how to do it?
How to do it, I will teach you practically. But so far you have to admit what I told you. Is it correct or not? You think yourself. Is it not? So the essence of Bhagavad-Gita is only to do pranayama. There are only two words, yogam and jnana. Do pranayama, and with that you will elicit the spiritual knowledge. See, knowledge is of two types: spiritual theoretical knowledge. Spiritual theoretical knowledge, that is called knowledge, but the practical knowledge that is elicited by doing this pranayama. When you are doing pranayama, your life force will get churned out. When you are getting churning with this pranayama, you will get subtle energy. That subtle energy will give rise to more mental energy. See, our Gurudev used to say, all the people are devoid of this mental energy. This mental energy will be elicited only by involving the mind in this pranayama, with which only you will get enlightened with this mental energy. Without mental energy, your brain cells can never be stimulated. But unfortunately, all these people are doing in the term of with meditation. When they are doing meditation, simply they are bending head downwards. With that forward bending of the head will give rise to the stimulation of your brain cells. What do you say, Uma?
Yeah. So, of course, by bending the neck is not. I never heard that. Of course, meditation is focusing.
Did you ever witness the people who are doing meditation?
Yeah.
Is there anybody sitting erectly like this while doing meditation?
Yeah, that is meditation.
Meditation.
Of course, sitting straight and then focusing on the eyes.
See, how can a person sit erectly without doing pranayama? You know, there are muscles in the neck. In the brainstem, there is a nervous network, ascending reticular activating system, you know. Without sufficient blood supply to that ARAS, your neck can never be erect. When you are getting your neck erect means there is some supply of the blood to the ARAS. You are not at all doing anything, simply closing your eyes. What will happen? There will be ischemia to the brain because of gravity. You are not doing anything extra effort to take it upwards. When you are closing the eyes, the gravity will affect influence on you. Naturally, you will bend your head downwards. You think yourself what I am telling. So, in order to get enormous blood supply to the hypothalamus and the rest of the brain, you have to increase the inspiratory phase. That is pranayama. That's why in scriptures and Bhagavad-Gita, everything says first do pranayama and go to meditation. But these people, without doing pranayama, they are trying to get meditation. It is not meditation, it is only sleeping while sitting. That's all. Cannot be called as meditation. Simply sleeping. But that person who is doing meditation cannot understand because the people around him will observe. He is bending, he is swaying.
That means basically when your spine is erect and you are fully awake.
Yes, how to get it erected?
Totally erect. Totally erect.
Yes, how to get it?
How to get it?
By taking your force upwards.
Force upwards. Yes. Yes, of course. Without that, you can't afford.
Yes. I'm very happy. You have committed and admitted.
Yes, we have to.
You have to. We have to. Yes. That's why it is very easy to make the doctors understand, provided they have that inclination. Okay.
I think it is a basic understanding.
Yes. That is the essence of Bhagavad-Gita. See, at the end of the 18th chapter, Lord Sri Sanjaya told to Dhritarashtra, Vyasa prasadat srutvan etat guhyam aham param yogam yogisurat krishna sakshat kadayata swayam. That is the essence of Bhagavad-Gita. Sanjaya told to Dhritarashtra like this, Vyasa prasadat, with the divine blessings of my Guru Vyasa, srutvan etat guhyam aham param, the secret about Yogam. Yogam yogisurat krishna. Yogisara Krishna Sakshat Kadayasta Swayam is personally telling about this Yogam. Lord Sri Krishna himself personally telling you this Yogam that I came to understand, I could hear by blessings of my Guru. That is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So entire 18 chapters are telling about this Yogam only. Without Yogam, there is no Jnanam. Jnana means the practical knowledge. There is one chapter, 7th chapter, that is called Vijnana Yogam. Vijnana means practical knowledge. Jnana means theoretical knowledge. With doing Yogam this only, you will get spiritual practical knowledge. Any more question?
So what you are saying is breathing from superficial nostrils. Anyway, air is going to go through the nostrils to the nasopharynx anyway.
No. The way of pushing, way of pulling is different. When you are taking from outside, there is no action inside. Simply you are taking inside. Of course, in every respiratory cycle, there is some force trying to go upwards in every normal respiration also. But that is becoming minimal. You enhance it by increasing your negative pressure in the lungs. How to increase it? By catching at the level of nasopharynx. That is the main difference between this pranayama and this external swasayama. I call it as swasayama. Because you are mainly concentrating on the external air only.
There are some internal, like a Brahmari Pranayama.
Brahmari Pranayama, that is what told by Lord, our Gurudev. There are only two pranayamas, Bhujigi Karana and Brahmari Pranayama. With the help of the vocal cords, you are doing up and downs. That is called Brahmari Pranayama. That is the same thing. And without using the local cords, simply taking the level of nasopharynx is called Bhujigi Karana Pranayama. That is what we are teaching.
What about other ones like Astrika Pranayama?
That, see,
right?
No. Bastrika prana. Are you doing with the external layer or inside pranayama? Inside pranayama.
Through the
External layer only. Our intention is to take your life force, which is inside only, and through inside only, you have to take upwards by churning. Here, no churning is taking place. When there is churning, you will be getting sound. During Anuloma or Vinuloma or Vastrika or Kapalabhati, no doubt these are also designed by rishis. Those are only superficial methods. After that, you have to do pranayama. That pranayama is different from all these things. This is external nadi sodhana. There are two Upanishads, it is clearly mentioned. See, there is one Upanishad that is called Trisiki Brahmana Upanishad. In that, Nadi Suddhincha Krutvado Pranayama Charet. That is told in Trisiki Brahmana. First do Nadi Suddhi, then do Pranayama. That indicates your Nadi Suddhi is different from this Pranayama. But all these people, the Nadi Suddhi itself calling it as Pranayama. In Sandilya Upanishad, it is told like this. Yama Niyamabhyasa Yuktaha Pranayamam Charet Tena Nadaya Suddha Bhavanti. In Sandilya Upanishad. So there is a special design technique inside the throat, that is pranayama. With that, Tena Nadaya Suddha Bhavanti, the 70,000 channels of prana pravaham, that is nadi, they will be totally cleaned out by the internal pranayama.
So you don't need
Yes. That is there in our Siddha Sampradaya. You need not do any external nadi swadhana. If you correctly do this pranayama inside, you need not do this. But the people who are already doing this external, that will be helpful. No doubt, I don't deny that. When you are doing till now the external nadi swadhana, okay, well, I admit. For those people who are doing that, this pranayama will be very easy also. But you need not strain much. Straight away catch this. Namaskar. Please come here. Come here and question. Where from you?